Hey, Gary's Gulch, welcome back. Short message here to kick off 2026, and I'm sorry it's a couple days late. Like everybody else out there, I am busy getting things up and rolling this year. Yet I felt compelled to just say hello and welcome Gary's Gulch to an amazing 2026. I kept thinking as I was preparing for this of that song, "The Future's So Bright That We Have to Wear Shades." I just wanted to help you ring in 2026 and let you know that I could not be more optimistic. I could not be stronger in my faith. I could not be stronger in my belief that America is on an incredible track and that we are going to solve all of the major issues in our world. I have relationships that are strained with very close, dear friends that I think are going to resolve themselves this year. And so why do I say the future is so bright? Let's go back to a series of events that actually started at the end of 2025. So the TPUSA event that started by the great Charlie Kirk, they do an annual event called AmeriFest at the end of the year. And they have a bunch of political celebrities that come. And it was just incredible this year. In fact, I wasn't personally there, sadly, because I decided that I was going to bring my oldest son, Jake, with me. And they had already sold out months before the event. I think a lot of that had to do with Charlie and the revival that occurred after he was martyred. They sold out the stadium for over 30,000 people, complete capacity, and they probably could have doubled it this year. It was incredible and so exciting to see. And then we had all of the influencers that went on and were willing to destroy their own audience to talk about the strength of their faith and their appreciation of President Trump and all he is doing for America and for the world. Then to ring in the new year, we have the Venezuela event. Oh my gosh, what was that even about? I can think of three things, and I don't know which it was. I'm guessing it was all three. Because President Trump doesn't go mess in other people's countries. He wants peace. And so striking out to do a judicial action to pull that guy out of his country, we don't in America have a very good track record of regime change. Often we end up with something much worse than the evil that we at least understood and knew, which at the time was Maduro. But I think these three things acting together made it very clear, and Trump being so connected with God now after his experiences of almost dying a few times, that he understands and is staying plugged into God, which is my true message of this and much of what I will talk about in 2026. Again, maybe you're here because you and I are real estate investors and you appreciate that advice. Maybe you believe in family banking and want to have a stronger understanding of that. Perhaps you're a business owner and is really excited about my new future as a certified exit planning advisor and helping you grow your business to a point where you probably don't ever want to exit it, and that's totally fine. Or maybe you're here because you are aligning with me on our journey and discovering our faith. It could be one, it could be all of those. I'm happy to have you along and am honored to be able to serve and provide, hopefully, some value into your world here in 2026. The 250th anniversary, which is already half over, folks. The year started on 4th of July, 2025. It's half over, but it's about to ramp up like you've never seen before. Back to Venezuela. What are those three things? Freedom for the Venezuelan people. There are millions of Venezuelans that are celebrating in the streets across the globe, in Miami, in New York City, many other states and many other cities in America, in Buenos Aires, and all across South America and in Europe. And there's going to be this huge migration of people, Venezuelan citizens, back to their homeland, back to their family, that was enabled by President Trump removing the dictator and the oppressor that was in their country. So there's freedom of an amazing people. And by the way, their freedom helps us too. We had too many people in America and we needed people to go home that were here illegally. And some of those were Venezuelans and they're going home. And legal citizens who were here under a visa or maybe have actually even become U.S. citizens, they're going home to spread the ways of America to their home country and to South America. And that is all goodness. And they're welcome back here with open arms if they're legal citizens or here on a visa. The second thing is oil, right? So the Democrats will point towards this as being an illegal act and we're just there to get the oil. That's crazy because Biden had a $25 million bounty out that they were offering a reward to anybody who could help get rid of Maduro. President Trump did that, so maybe the government should give him $25 million. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he would accept it. He would just turn around and give it to the military or to a charity of some sort. The oil. These were U.S. oil fields that were broken in contract by Maduro. And so he started using that money to fund terrorism and to fund China and to fund Iran and many other evil things that were happening. But most of all, and worst of all, was that he was destroying the lives of Americans, with 300,000 people dying in America every year because of the fentanyl and the cocaine that was coming across the border from their side. And so this is going to stop all of that from Venezuela. It's also going to stop it very soon from Colombia. So oil was doing bad things because it was funding their economy. It was funding the Cuban economy and sustaining communism and Marxism in our hemisphere. Man, was that an amazing change. But here's the one that I think maybe it wasn't even intended. I have no idea, but they always say Trump plays three-dimensional chess, so perhaps it was intended. But the voting machines. There were people in Venezuela who had the goods. They had the proof that the Smartmatic Dominion machines were in fact intentionally changing elections in their country when Maduro illegitimately maintained control even though he didn't win the election. And they have proof that the Democrats did the same thing in 2020 here in America. There are all kinds of videos and testimonials and documentaries from experts who are bringing the goods. They're bringing the proof that these things actually did happen. So all three of those. And think about that timing of the voting machines right before the 2028 midterms, which are so incredibly important, that we maintain control of the House and the Senate so that we can get the right people in position for the second half of President Trump's presidency, so that we can effect change, that we can actually bring back the freedoms of America and bring back those conservative values, meaning conserving the Constitution and not let us get into all of the terrorism and all of the spreading of diluting of wealth and ideas and beauty that comes from this Christian country that was started 250 years ago. So I'm extremely excited from Venezuela and AmeriFest alone. Let's talk about the fraud that has been unearthed in first Minnesota by that young 25-year-old man who went viral with millions of views on New Year's Day alone. Let's talk about how it has now become obvious that it's also in Ohio, and it's in California, and it's in Massachusetts, and it's in New York, and it's probably in every state in America. People don't get that wealthy that fast from pure poverty. It happens from corruption. And it was blatant. It was out there in our face and obvious. And there isn't, I don't think, one person from Somalia who's in America who has American interests at heart. They are a threat. I'm not saying throw everyone out for no reason, but if they're here illegally, they should go. And if they have benefited from fraud or personally created fraud, conducted fraud, then they should leave our country. It has caused the governor to not seek re-election. Incredible. Tim Walz might have been very close to becoming the vice president of the United States, and now he's been shown for what he truly is and will not be affecting Minnesota any longer either. This is all truly incredible. We have an experiment, a controlled experiment, a safe experiment, I think, in New York City, where Mamdani is going to remind America for another 100 years why we need to keep our fingers off of that hot stove called collectivism. He famously said with his hand on a Quran that when he was being sworn in, that he was going to remove the rugged individualism and replace it with the warmth of collectivism. This is right out of Atlas Shrugged and taking the agency away from people. This is absolutely the specific reason I do this podcast, to help others understand that is a farce. There's no such thing as the warmth of collectivism. Collectivism has across the globe in hundreds of countries been tried for hundreds of years. And every time, 100% of the time, it fails. It results in poverty, people starving, losing everything they have, and most importantly, their mind and their inspiration to be able to sustain their future lives and to prosper. Collectivism is not warm. It's horrible. And Mamdani is going to bring that front and center for America so that we understand we will never touch that again during my lifetime, and hopefully not during my children's lifetime. Again, a beautiful, incredible thing. And New Yorkers who are conservative and believe in American values and bleed red, white, and blue, you are welcome any day in Florida. I have plenty of properties you can come live in down here in Cape Coral, Florida. You are welcome 100%. Please come join us in strengthening Florida and strengthening America. What's next? How about Elon Musk mending his relationship with President Trump and going all in on supporting the Republicans during the 2028 midterms? So the Democrats have a huge leg up if they can take U.S. taxpayer dollars, launder them through Somali daycares and home health cares and all of the other scams that they run, and turn them around and put it right back in their own pockets. Not only do they get these people voting who are illegally here and voting for Democrat, but more importantly, they're able to run a money machine in the billions of dollars. We have a guy who's the wealthiest person on the planet and one of the biggest patriots and smartest people that we have ever met, hardest working, and he just said he's going to back financially the Republican Party to ensure that we maintain House and Senate. Again, I could not be more excited about 2026 and how we are maintaining the Christian beliefs, the strength of the entrepreneurship, and the desire for Americans to help people across the globe gain their freedom and their agency and share love and prosperity around the globe. It's incredible. And just a little bit on the structure side. So I believe that our purpose in life, our reason for being here, is to strengthen the connection with our God. If you've ever, on my submarines, we had analog listening devices, analog acoustic and radio devices. And there was this method where a guy with headphones on was adjusting this thing to get the strongest possible signal, to get pointed exactly, the microphone pointed exactly at what you want to hear. Same thing with AM radio. You're able to, at least on old large consoles, you were able to take that console and you were able to adjust that amplifier, or the tuner, it was called, to tune in the signal correctly. And that's our job, is to make sure we remain aligned and closely tuned to God's signal and purpose for us. Our life here on this planet is simply a process, a journey of discovery, a journey of checking in. Am I on the right path? Am I doing, I don't understand why this is happening. What can you help me? And you get tuned, and then you go out and you start helping more people. And if you can remain tuned with your God so that you understand what your unique genius is, then you can share that with others. You can first preserve it for your family and your friends so that those in your community have agency to be able to carry forward the lessons that you have taught them. And that might be through real estate. It might be through gold and silver. And then, so now you have the resources to be able to keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully they will as well for generations. And that's why I push real estate, because real estate is set up in America as something that is achievable by all if you work hard enough to get it. And it can actually make you wealthy. And being wealthy, financially wealthy, means that you can be wealthy in your spirit and in your mindset, and then sharing your gifts. And then that's where business really has me excited, because the next layer, right? So it's God, and it's you maintaining connected to God. And then it's you storing wealth in things like real estate that you're incentivized by the U.S. tax code to do, and by bank loans, etc., to do. And you're providing housing to others. I had a client this morning say that he heard from God not to invest in the last failed ATM investment that he was planning to go do, because he read the scripture that said, do not make money off of the poor. Do not financially become rewarded from taking it from the poor. And that's really what ATM machines do, and it prevented him from doing it. In my industry, a very popular thing is something called life settlements. And life settlements are buying a whole life insurance or an universal life insurance policy from the insured individual and maintaining that policy and then profiting from it after they pass away. Profiting from your own family or your own life is completely different if the money stays inside your family. I resisted participating in life settlements for a very long time, and then I decided finally, okay, I will, because some people that I really respected had a different opinion than me. And I brought 3 or 4 of my clients into this because they asked me to do it. And it didn't go well. It didn't go well. From the very beginning, I had this pit in my stomach and my heart was not in it because I was profiting from somebody else's family. And worst of all is that my financial gain required that they die on time or early. And that was just a horrible place to be. So sorry for those of you who are listening that I brought into this. There was just 2 or 3 and it's a small group. I don't know if they even listen to my podcast, but I should have listened to my gut and listened to my God and not gotten involved in that. And listening to God is incredibly important so that you can be the conduit to share what you have learned on this journey of discovery. And you can maintain resources in real estate, and then you can scale and share them globally with a business that you create to add value to the world around you. Again, let's go back to Elon Musk. The man is a billionaire, is a trillionaire almost coming up here soon. Almost a trillionaire, and he will be in 2026. Incredible. He's on our side, and he has demonstrated for us the value of if you can add monumental value to the world, you will be replenished in kind. So the gift I hope you get from this is to understand that the goal in life is to understand your creator and your specific purpose here on this planet so that you can add maximum impact and that it will last far beyond your time here on the planet. And it will enable you to understand life, which means that you can bring down your concerns about chasing worldly financial wealth. And you can live life to the fullest, adding as much value as possible, receiving as much value as possible, living in a mindset of abundance and sharing that mindset with those around you. We all have family members that we need to help understand this better. And that is the purpose of doing this. That's why I help my clients understand the value of having positive cash flow, having assets that you control, having a business where you share your value, and understanding the connection with your God so that you can share this with other people. They can learn from you, and you've moved the football down the field of life before you go, in that you have improved the world around you. One of the best lessons and pieces of advice that I've gotten somewhere in my childhood was that you should, every situation that you find yourself in, you should leave it in a better condition than when you got there. Add positive value in every situation that you can. And that's what I know for sure our president is doing with the hand of God on his shoulder. And 2026 is a few days old, and it has been incredible with Venezuela, with rooting out the fraud and giving us the ability to do something about that. And Elon Musk committing financially to helping keep America and the world safe from totalitarianism and socialism. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm sure you can sense my optimism, my love for this country and what I do every day, and my amazing listeners in Gary's Gulch. Go make something amazing happen. I'll talk to you next week.